Virginia and Georgia meet for the second year in a row in the Southeast Regional Championship. Loudon South Little League from Virginia, Peachtree City from Georgia. A date with Williamsport is on the line. Come fly on down to Warner Robins. It's the Little League World Series on ESPN. It was doubleheader day for Georgia after a rainout yesterday. A resounding 10-1 victory over South Carolina sets up a rematch of a fantastic finish last night. Virginia at 3-0, unbeaten in the tournament, and Georgia. I counted 5 moves after he looked at the camera. A no-look Rubik's Cube mic drop from Noah Culpepper. That was awesome. And Justin Lee, the self-proclaimed Junior the Tuna. He's pitching for Virginia today, and boy, has he been dangerous. 6 for 7, 3 home runs at the plate.
Yeah, he's got that power, and we'll see if it comes into play early. I think it's so big in terms of momentum. Get a lead early on Monday. Virginia was out front.
Bracket, 6-5 comeback over Georgia Monday. Well, Justin Lee got it started on Monday in this spot. 2 out, nobody on. First inning against Austin Davis. Lee blasted a long home run to center. Swinging away here, and he's down 0-2. 6 for 7, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 walks in the regional. So Lee has batted 11 times and reached base 10. Down 0-2 here, and he stays alive. We saw Justin Lee behind the plate on Monday. We'll see him on the mound this afternoon.
Austin Davis doing a nice job of changing speeds here in this first inning. And that's what it's all about. Try to keep the hitters off balance. Even though you don't have an overpowering fastball, if you can change speeds, mix your locations. Never allow those hitters to get into a groove and settle into one part of the plate and one velocity.
Another breaking ball, and Lee pounds this one. It is gone. Justin Lee does it again. Another first inning blast for Virginia's Big Bopper.
It's a good approach. Stay up the middle. Good things can happen when mechanics stay intact. And with his size and power, it's not too many ballparks going to hold him in.
Well, 2 days ago, it was a 3-0 count when Lee blasted off. He could do it all. He caught on Monday. He's homered in both games. And he'll start for Virginia, trying to send this state back to the Little League World Series with a regional championship. Back to the Little League World Series. It will be the first time in 25 years, and Justin's the man to do it.
He's got some good velocity in the mid-60s. Curveball and changeup to go along with the fastball, but perhaps the best attribute, tenacious out there on the mound. He's going to continue to attack hitters even when he falls behind. Showing it with the bat. Now he could show it with the arm.
It's a hot day. It's sticky, but it's a beautiful day nonetheless. Fingers crossed for no more rain in the forecast. Had a big pop-up storm yesterday, but the grounds crew's done an amazing job to get this field ready for 2 games today. Landon Justice leads it off, and Justin Lee starts him with ball 1. 5 for 13 for Landon Justice in this regional. He hit a home run on Monday to tie the game. He's a left-handed batter. He's a left-handed thrower, but he also has a nasty right-handed curveball. Ambidextrous, Landon Justice. Said he sometimes changes that mid-game, but this regional will likely not be the time for that.
No. Maybe earlier in the year when you can afford to lose, but there is little margin for error in this game this afternoon. So close to getting to that promised land of Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Justice on the ground. Colton Hicks at second throws him out. These are two very strong defensive teams, as we've seen all tournament long. And the first test aced by the 11-year-old Colton Hicks at second.
Look at games like this and two talented teams, and the winner typically it's the one who makes the least amount of mistakes defensively.
Austin Davis goes after Lee's first pitch for strike one. Austin Davis maybe had the defensive play of the tournament in our first game today. Great lunging, diving over the shoulder catch from second base. Strike two.
Have two strikes.
Davis helped get Peachtree City here with a complete game shutout in the state semis against Warner Robins. Playing on Warner Robins home field right now. He said the Warner Robins players have taken a cheering for Peachtree City, representing the state. Fifth straight year Peachtree City has had one of its Little League teams represent the state of Georgia here in the Southeast Regional. Lee on 0-2 blows one by him. Justin Lee is throwing smoke early. At Peachtree City, Georgia, this is the Peachtree City national team, not to be confused with Peachtree City's American Little League team. A 23-run rout of West Virginia Friday. Then a couple of close calls. Beat Florida, lost to Virginia in walk-off fashion, and dominated South Carolina in our first game today. Two down for Rowan and a curveball high. Four home runs, 8 knocked in for Will Rowan in this regional.
And you can see the uptick in velocity with Justin Lee, even from the other side, his counterpart, Austin Davis today. But of the arms that we've seen, even the earlier game, he is really popping the catcher's mitt.
Rowan on the ground is short. Low throw by Oaksgarten is dug out by Matt Coleman. Great pick by Coleman to close out a 1-2-3 first. Off against Justin Lee. First pitch hunting and fouled away.
Well, ideally, if you're Georgia Peachtree City here, you want to just chip away. You can get that leadoff man on, somehow base hit, error, walk, start collecting some base runners, and little by little get back in this game.
Rudolph will do just that. A ground ball sneaks through for Kyle Rudolph, and the leadoff man's aboard for Georgia.
Well, that's where it all starts. Got to get somebody on, and then let the dominoes continue to fall and keep the line moving. You're Georgia, be that guy that says, I'm not going to make it out this inning.
Camden Rogers grabs a bat. He's going to hit for Brock Rain. Rogers has been a force off the bench all week long. 4 out of 7. He's doubled, he's homered. He's driven in 6 runs in this regional. And with a base runner on early, Esteban Maldonado goes to Rogers. Every player on both these teams is required to have 1 at-bat in the game, mandatory minimum play. 5 players on the bench for Georgia, 4 on the bench for Virginia, and you'll see all of them take their turn at bat. Rogers chases one low. Always have to be alert for Noah Culpepper behind the plate.
Now, these Georgia kids over in the dugout, they see the velocity from Justin Lee, and that's why in a 1-0-1-1 count, breaking ball, it's not even close, gets chased after by the hitter. Want to be ready for that fastball and try to get out in front. That can work to Lee's advantage. He continues to command it. Or that same little tunnel, throw the breaking ball and get the swings and misses.
Foul,
Chop,
foul, right
foul.
here, foul.
Culpepper pounced on it just in case. Get to see his brilliant head of hair.
Play.
Two-two. Rogers chops it back to Lee, and he throws it into center field. Now the throw behind it, second, not in time, as Rudolph stumbles back into the base. 2 on and nobody out for Georgia.
Kind of a tough play for the pitcher because he's on the mound and on that slope, and where he fields it, maybe spinning glove side would have been better for him to have a chance of a more accurate throw to first, but he went arm side and just really didn't get his feet established underneath him. And those are the little things that you're Georgia, you got to take advantage of.
Brock Rain returns to run for Rogers. And Joaquin Maldonado will bat. No relation to his head coach, Joaquin.
There is a connection to you, though.
Oh yeah, we did get to meet.
Because his siblings beat you in a cardboard.
I don't think both of them did. But we did meet Nico and Melania. And I don't know. It's possible the folks will find out about that later. It's possible, depending on if I got my way or if you did. Ball 1 to Joaquin. Best video game player on the team, Joaquin Maldonado. We found out that Fortnite is apparently no longer in vogue among 11 and 12-year-olds this year.
It's amazing. Last year it was, I mean, they were doing the dance. They were all about it. It's back to MLB The Show and Minecraft.
Go, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
One, two. Will Nixon, by the way, running at second for Rudolph. Special pinch runner. Speediest player on the team, base to base. And the count is full on Maldonado.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
First 3-ball count for Justin Lee. 2 on, nobody out. And Maldonado stays alive. You see the equivalent there, that 70-mile-per-hour pitch. That's the equivalent of facing 91 from 60 feet, 6 inches in the majors. 46 feet mound to home plate here, just to give you an idea of the kind of reaction time needed to hit some of these fastballs. Another 3-2. And a called strike 3 by David Byers. A late call, but a call nonetheless to get Maldonado looking.
A really good at bat by Maldonado and had some sink to it at the end. I think as it was crossing the plate, home plate umpire saw it as at the very bottom of the zone, and it was caught pretty low, but an easy call for the umpire, and unfortunate for Maldonado.
Not where it's caught, but where it crossed the plate. That's where the strike zone's supposed to be. Now strike 1 to Logan Inagawa. That gets away from Culpepper. Nixon will advance to third, and Rain behind him to second.
Just in and out of the webbing there. And right here, Georgia can chip one in somewhere. They start to chip away at that lead.
Good breaking ball for a big strike 2 on Inagawa.
With Nixon the runner at third base, real critical for the Virginia catcher to block everything and keep it close.
But Lee hit him. 1-2 pitch, rides up and hits Inagawa, and Georgia has loaded the bases in its half of the second. Dylan Stiltner is going to pinch hit for Georgia. And there goes Noah Culpepper for a quick fist bump in a meeting with his starting pitcher. Stiltner off the bench. Big Dill, he's a big swinger. 3 for 7 in this regional. One of the most solid hitters on this Georgia roster.
Play.
Stiltner goes after the first pitch. Off the net, strike 1.
Come off the bench ready to hit. That's what you want to see. Here's power versus power as pitcher-hitter matchup. And a nice strategy. These coaches have the ability to deploy that big hitter in a big spot.
On the ground to shortstop. Opes Garden can handle it cleanly. Everybody's safe.
Time.
Well, on both sides, we've seen shortstops with plays that are easy plays for them to make and maybe just get a little too anxious.
Chase. Hey, you're okay. It's not the ground's fault. Come here. Hey, listen. Hey, look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. It's 5-1, dude. We're in control here. Just listen. We're doing fine. The base is loaded, right? Lead with your hip. We're good. You're pitching great. Okay, there's nothing wrong. They're not hitting in the gap to the outfield. Okay?
It's not fault, George.
It's, hey, you're good. Okay? No. Okay. No. Okay? All right. Hey, if we can get him at 4, get him at 4. Otherwise, try to turn 2 or get it out. You're good. Justin, you're pitching well.
I'd like Alan Bowden to be the voice of my meditation app.
Soothing there.
Soothing presence. Hey, we're all right. And he's right. They're up by 4. But that's the message that we've heard from Alan Bowden throughout this regional. Listen, Virginia's undefeated. It's worked to great effect.
And what has, coaches just trying to get these kids to bring things back in. Where are we at right now? The only opportunity we have right now is with this hitter. Make a pitch, make a play defensively, and then get the next guy.
Ryan Melton pinch hitting. Strike 1 from Justin Lee. So 3 pinch hitters have been used this inning for Georgia. Melton through the left side to score at least 1. And Georgia will hold the next runner, Inagawa, at third. An RBI single off the bench for Melton. And here comes Peachtree City, Georgia.
Well, this is a good job of Georgia with a little help from Virginia, but to answer back after the big grand slam in the top half of this inning. Not going quietly in the bottom half.
Walker Dixon returns to run for Melton. And after that grand slam, looked like Virginia might run away early. And here's Landon Justice to represent the go-ahead run. A ground out in the first inning for Justice. And the Georgia leadoff hitter takes a called strike. Again, it's not where it's caught, it's where it crosses. Strike 2.
Well, Justice with good speed, and if he hits the ball on the ground in the infield, it's so important for him to use that speed up the first baseline to avoid an inning-ending double play.
His dad, David, a great Little League player back in the early 90s. Landon named for him, David Landon Justice. And he takes one that kicks away from Culpepper, but the runners will hold. Culpepper keeps it close enough.
Culpepper's been working hard early in this ball game.
It's not a fun day to wear all that equipment behind the plate. It is sticky. Low to mid 90s. Without the breeze, it would feel hotter. 2-2. Justice pokes it. Opsgarden cannot make the play. This is a live ball. He'll come to the plate, and Culpepper squeezes it for the out.
Really good recovery by Opsgarden. That low liner doesn't stay in the glove, but sees the whole field and where his opportunity is. Look at that head. It was up right after he saw it pop out of his glove. Where's my opportunity? Where's my out? And a strike to Culpepper to get him.
6-2, fielder's choice. Moss, Dixon, and Justice left to right on the bases, and here is Austin Davis. Big breaking ball for strike one from Lee. He's thrown already 29 pitches in the inning. Austin Davis, huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. Went to every game but 2 in 2017. Favorite athlete, he tells us. One of the all-time great dogs, Herschel Walker. Advanced pick for a 12-year-old.
Got to come from his dad, Kevin.
Davis in the air, right field. Bowden is underneath it, and he squeezes it to end the inning for Virginia. Georgia leads 3, but scores 2. We got a back-and-forth affair here in Warner Robins. Great play by Bowden to hold Georgia at a pair.
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. Get a month's worth of manual brushing in just 2 minutes. Philips
Ability.
You talk to baseball trainers and scouts, they'll tell you it's so important to have young pitchers play multiple sports, because if you pitch year-round sometimes, you can overexert a certain muscle. You play football, basketball, soccer, whatever. As you said, balances out the body, strengthens other core muscles. Justin Lee, 1-2 against Austin Davis here leading off the third.
And how about the parents? The parents are the ones driving. You know, I know as a parent as well, driving your kids around a ton, just trying to keep up. But tip your cap to these parents for all the sacrifices they make to give these kids the opportunities.
No doubt. So many of them here today. Had to take off work, take the drive down here from Virginia, up from Georgia, to see their kids, the chance of a lifetime. Winner moves on to Williamsport. Been 25 years since Virginia sent a team there. Georgia just a year ago.
How you doing, Will?
Three-2.
Ball, that's outside.
Lee takes ball 4. If you want to play Little League, it's easy to find your local league. Just visit playlittleleague.org, enter your address, and find a Little League baseball or softball program near. But once again, You're a welcome competitor,
Play.
even when you didn't play fair. And I look forward to round 3 next year.
Well, or how about Williamsport?
How about
Up there?
Williamsport? Yeah. Strike 1 to Will Rowan.
So it's a really good fastball from Justin Lee. He's had some issues here and there commanding it, but when he is synced up mechanically, it's a
Ball.
tough pitch for these hitters to handle.
And all the runs unearned against Lee. Struck out a couple. His second appearance of the regionals. Rowan into center field. A leadoff base hit for Will Rowan.
Hung in there tight on that breaking ball. They have to give up a little bit because of the location of it, but he kept his hands tight to his body and just powered that barrel through.
Kyle Rudolph. In the air, Matt Coleman runs out of room. Well, you may not see a smaller first baseman than Matt Coleman, but he is as technically proficient as anyone around.
Well, had a really nice dig last inning. Or maybe it was 2 innings ago, but just an outstanding job. Wasn't an easy hop over there at first.
1 strike.
Dug it out for the final out of the
Play.
inning.
That's a ball.
It's great to have Kyle Rudolph in the lineup for Georgia. Broken wrist in January while playing basketball. A fracture in his elbow at the end of June. He healed up quickly. He pitched early on in the regional. He serves one to right here. Bowden is there to make the catch. And he can't get the ball out of his glove to try for 2, but he did secure the catch for the first out.
It's been a little adventure out there for Bowden today, but that's a great catch. And eyes get big as an outfielder when you can see the window between where the base runner is and when you make the catch. I think because of that, he's got a little too quick, not able to get the handle on it and get that second out.
1 on, 1 out for Brock Rain. And a strike to start him. Man of 1,000 nicknames. He goes by B-Rock mainly. Some of the other nicknames for Brock Rain: Fungo, Subway, 5 o'clock, Jeopardy, and Christmas Tree.
2 strikes.
We only learned the meanings behind about half of those.
Yeah.
But he says they all apply. Strike 3. Lee goes up the ladder for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Little League would like to extend a special thank you to its official sponsors, such as Chick-fil-A and Musco Sports Lighting, who help to maintain the strength and leadership of the Little League program. Little League would also like to thank its dedicated volunteers who make this program such a special experience for millions of children worldwide. There are way too many volunteers here to thank, but all the men and women who donated their time this weekend. Concession stands, the gift shop, serving and making the team meals, the ushers, the parking attendants, the Warner Robins Police Department, among many others. And a special shout-out, Singy, to Sonny, Lee, Andrew, Cody, Brent, Michael, Thomas, Tony, and Ken, and anybody we forgot on the grounds crew. We did a great job getting this field ready for play today.
Yeah, I mean, the field is just gorgeous. I mean, these kids, see their eyes light up. They talk about no bad hops, great atmosphere, seating for the parents up in the stands. Hey, if you don't make it past here, I mean, obviously you're here, you're close to punching your ticket to Williamsport, but this is a great experience in and of itself to play in this Southeast Regional.
2 strikes on the pinch hitter, Zach Profit. And that pitch is off the glove of Culpepper. Rowan down to second, and he'll hold right there. We also want to send our special thoughts to Marshall Casey, who's umpire-in-chief for Little League Baseball and Softball Southeastern Region, who's been here for decades overseeing the umpires, being a big part of this community. Couldn't be here today for a personal matter. We're all thinking of Marshall, and we know we'll be seeing him soon. One of the many great men and women who we see year in, year out, friendly faces here in Warner Robins, Georgia, and this tournament couldn't happen without all the hours, all the time they put in. Profit takes, called strike 3, and Justin Lee is out of the third. Halfway home from Warner Robins, 7, 8, and 9.
Play.
For Georgia against Justin Lee.
Great speed if he can get aboard.
And he'll try to bunt his way on. Grabbed at third by Yates. Play made. Will Mixon probably the fastest runner on the team. He tried to do just that, but Yates was one better.
And Yates anticipating that possibility of Mixon trying to drop down a bunt. He's in a little bit over there at third. And he's just that kid. It's in our meetings. I read on Monday. He's just easy going, laid back, doesn't say a whole lot, and made that play. He's like, ho hum. All right, what's next?
A man of few words but many grins is how he's described by his coaches. Strike one over to Logan Moss. That was such a big pitch, such a big one-pitch result for Lee because he came into the inning at 55 pitches. Again, 85 is the maximum pitch count. Moss in the air and out of play. Lee can get some quick outs here. Can put Virginia in a much better spot come the end of the game. He gets to 85 and Virginia will have to find a new pitcher. Logan Moss stays alive with 2 strikes. Curly Fries, as he's known. Not sure if you all caught it in our roster introductions. Logan Moss introduced himself saying, "Hi, I'm Logan Moss, and I have curls for the girls."
2 strikes. Play.
Something I know you've often said, Singy, in your lifetime.
It's been a while, as you can see with the haircut.
It's a choice. Strike 3. Moss goes down looking, 5th strikeout for Justin Lee.
Lee just cruising, and it's been one of his quickest innings so far. It is a balmy day, as you can see the perspiration there on the arm and on the neck. Justin Lee.
Walker Dixon's first at bat, and he goes after strike 1.
It's a great type of inning to have if you're Justin Lee. Kind of get into that middle part of the game, fatigue can start to set in. If you can have a quick inning, get back in the dugout out of this heat,
Ball.
increases your chances of being effective later into this ball game.
1-1. Ball.
I know you weren't a pitcher, but on a day like this as a batter with a pitcher getting deep into the
2-1.
game with the perspiration and the heat, would you approach it a little differently, maybe be a little more selective knowing he might tire easily?
Well, you can start to see it at times.
This one grounded to shortstop, and it is an easy inning for Lee. He gets through it on just 8 pitches. Virginia is 6 outs away.
A while to get to the 6th in a fairly close ball game.
That'll help. Yates to right field. Walker Dixon cuts it off before the corner. It's a 1-out single. And a single in advance of this young man.
That bomb hit earlier. Just front foot down, timing perfect, and I love it. He hit it so well. It's like, all right, let me just look up the line because I know that's getting over the fence. Doing it on the mound, doing it at the plate.
He did it again. Justin Lee up and away for Virginia.
It's middle in. So a smaller team in Virginia. He's the big guy, and they're just hopping on his back and riding him to potentially to the Little League World Series.
Eight for 9, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 5 walks. Good luck.
Video game numbers there for the kid.
Play.
Colton Hicks out to center field. And Hicks gets it on the act. Virginia goes back-to-back, and nobody loves it more than Justin Lee.
Well, just mentioning add on a little bit, keep increasing the lead, create as much separation as you can from Georgia, and that's exactly what they're doing here in the 5th. Austin Davis comes out of the game. We thought Maldonado, that fresh arm, it would be a little different look and feel for Virginia.
Coleman smokes it to the right side. The message from the coach worked. 2 will score. And Culpepper goes first to third. The professional delivers for Virginia. He loves every second of the third base coach's box.
It's got to be a fun player to coach.
Virginia, home runs from Justin Lee first. And Colton Hicks second. Justin Lee has cranked 2 home runs at the dish for Virginia today. On the mound, he's been dominant as well.
Power fastball. We see it to the arm side. It runs in there on the righty. It's just real difficult. Trying to catch up to it upstairs. Really hard to do. Froze some hitters with the fastball and the breaking ball. No, Logan Moss didn't like the call there, but Justin Lee has been peppering the strike zone. And he's swinging the bat a little bit, too.
Just a little bit. 64 pitches. 85 is the pitch count number. Get to 85, you can't start a new batter. Lee's on pace to throw another 16 here, 16 pitches per inning, which would get him into the 6th, but a very quick 4th. Landon Justice, top of the order for Georgia. Scored 7 runs in this tournament to lead his Georgia team. 5 in the last 2 games. 2-run home run against Virginia on Monday. Justice gets it started with a hit to right field. Justice will try to turn for 2. He's in there standing.
No hesitation there out of the box. That's a nice piece of base running, pulling that down the line. And Nixon doing a nice job getting there, knocking it down, and at least having a shot at Justice at second base.
The double for Justice in advance of Austin Davis. Boy, that sounds good right about now. Dad's baby back ribs. On the ground to first. Coleman knocks it down at the base with the first out.
So if you're Justin Lee right now, you're not even thinking about the runner at third. Run doesn't matter. You're overly concerned with trying to prevent that run from scoring, especially with an 11-2 lead. You're not going to be as locked in on the hitter as you need to be. And that's all he needs to think about. He's playing catch with Culpepper right here.
Ball 1 to Will Rowan. The biggest hitter at this tournament for Georgia. 4 home runs, 8 knocked in, and a single last time. Takes a curveball, strike 1. Good hard heater from Lee.
He's got some good tilt on it too from his release point. Gets that arm up there and then it's throwing downhill. So it's going down and has a little bit of run. Tough to match the plane.
Tough to do anything with that combination of pitches.
Right, he's getting better.
Wow.
Later in this game.
August 29th, 8 Eastern, Georgia Tech and Clemson kick off the college football season in the ACC, only on ACC Network from Death Valley. Get ACCN.com for more information, and if you don't see your provider on that graphic, call and demand they carry the ACC Network. First game for the defending national champions, the Clemson Tigers. Jeff Collins, a brand new head coach at Georgia Tech, to change that style of play from the long-time option game under Paul Johnson. Good luck. Take over an option team, you're running something else. Have fun. Death Valley week 1.
Yeah. Good place to try it out.
That's looped toward left field by Rudolph and tracked down by Joe Ross.
Love it. Get the defense behind you. Making some plays. Justin Lee more pumped about what other guys are doing than what he's doing today. I love it.
Noah Culpepper, Justin Lee, and his teammates have been dominant today. 3 more outs. They'll be the first team to represent Virginia at the Little League World Series since Central Springfield Little League way back in 1994.
It's been a little while. They get the heart of the lineup coming up for Virginia. Comfortable lead with 9.
Inning, 74 pitches deep. 85 is the pitch count. If Lee gets to 85 in the middle of a batter, he can finish that hitter. And with 11 pitches or so, he can finish out this game. Camden Rogers will lead off for Georgia.
Oh.
And Rogers is hit.
That was just boring in on him. Nowhere to go with the velocity. Big kid, though. Looks like he's all right.
Any way you can start the rally, right?
Hey, got to have base runners. And you know that's what Esteban Maldonado telling his Peachtree City Club when they come in the dugout. Hey, listen, got to get base runners.
Ball 1 on Joaquin Maldonado. Strike 1. The Shadows once again playing a role as they have all day.
Ball.
How much harder is it, Singy, to pick up that fastball when you're in shadow and Justin Lee's in sun?
Well, fortunately, it's the Shadows aren't out far enough yet because based on the science, a hitter, makes his decision whether he's swinging at a pitch and kind of calculates where it's going to be, a few feet out in front of home plate. So I think they're okay at this point. But he starts to cut about halfway to the mound, and that's when it starts to get difficult. One thing that's can be tough is just this good velocity that Justin Lee still seems to be featuring. The pitch count now at 79. Doesn't look like he is going to be able to finish this game nobody out yet.
Foul.
Maldonado stays alive. His brother Julian was here 3 years ago, played in Warner Robins, lost in the title game. We know he's watching. Joaquin, 3 years later, has been a big part of this team. One of the most improved players all year long for Peachtree City. On 3-2, Lee drops one in. Strike 3 and 1 out in the 6th.
Maldonado just couldn't pull the trigger. I think he was looking towards the outside part of the plate, and that wasn't in that location. More middle in on that pitch.
Now batting left fielder number 16, Logan Inagawa.
Logan Inagawa now to take strike 1.
Trying to be patient with Lee, and they're trying to get him out of this ball game. Let him go ahead and reach his pitch limit.
Next one will be number 85, so this is going to be Justin Lee's final batter.
For Lee, it could be his final batter by getting a ground ball,
Sure.
ending double play. That's how he'd like it to be his final batter, but not the way that Georgia wants it to go.
Two-strike pitch. Inagawa ducks out of the way, ball 1. Two years in a row for Loudon South Little League in the Southeast Regional Final. Seeking this Little League's first ever World Series appearance. That's fought off foul, still 2 strikes on Inagawa.
I take that as a compliment.
Winner of this game starts the Little League World Series a week from tomorrow, Thursday, August 15th, 3 o'clock Eastern, against the winner of the New England region. Another 1-2. How hard is it to not be thinking about that right now if you're Virginia?
It's very difficult, but you got to just stay in the moment best you can.
Inagawa down the line. That's a foul ball.
What you're thinking about is just getting that last out and throwing your gloves up and celebrating with your team and kind of taking an exhale, if you will. It's not so much of, oh, I want to go and win the Little League World Series. Sure you do, but you just want to punch your ticket and get there. You get there, you got an opportunity just like anybody else.
It's a good at-bat by Inagawa. This Georgia team is
3-2.
fighting for every last
Okay.
at-bat. '90th pitch today for Justin Lee on 3-2. And there will be a 91st. Good stop by Esteban Maldonado over at third.
Pretty good fielding pitcher, former minor league pitcher over there, Maldonado. Looks more like a power hitter than a pitcher.
Yeah, he's well built, Esteban. 5 years in the Astros system. Inagawa facing another 3-2. Inagawa pops it up. Coleman on the bag at first makes the catch. And Virginia is 1 out away. They will have to get that out with a new pitcher. Justin Lee has reached the limit. Here comes Alan Bowden.
You did it. You did it. You did it. Go get your first baseman throw.
What a day for Justin Lee. He'll get to run out to first. His Virginia team is 1 out away from pandemonium.
Kind of lead. You got plenty of cushion just to attack the hitters.
And there it is. For the first time in 25 years, Virginia is going to the Little League World Series.
Look at that embrace there, Justin Lee and Oaksgarden. So this means a lot to these guys. They've worked hard. They've led this ball club. And maybe in some ways, Virginia, the underdog over Georgia. Not too far from home, and a team that scored a lot of runs, but it was all Virginia's offense, and just a nice job there closing it out. Look at Justin Lee. Can't believe it.
Shake it up. They do the middle. They want to go in the middle.
Central Springfield Little League in 1994. You are no longer the last from Virginia to head to Williamsport. South Riding, Virginia, and the Loudoun South Little League. Particularly the Loudoun South American Little League. They came out of the losers bracket back home and beat Loudoun South National twice. They've won 20 elimination games the last 2 years, make it 21. And they are off to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And as always, a great display of sportsmanship after the game. A high five at a handshake line between the players and coaches. And the fans who made the drive down from South Riding, not far from Washington, D.C. Boy, are they happy they did.
And they will have a nice drive home. It's a lot longer when your team loses, but they'll be riding high and home before you know it. And congratulations.
Liam Thien closed it out. Justin Lee, all the other outs. Virginia is Little League World Series bound.
ESPN.
Never been able to hoist that banner in the state of Virginia before. 0-5 in regional finals of the Southeast region before today. Loudoun South Little League in Virginia smashes through that particular ceiling with aplomb. A 12-2 victory over Peachtree City, Georgia. 11 hits, 4 home runs for Virginia in the game. Justin Lee hit 2 of the 4 home runs. He walked, and he threw 5 2/3 innings without an earned run on the mound.
With the power on display, a pair of home runs for Lee this afternoon, and almost just a man among boys, the way that he was getting it done on both sides of the ball. But he did get some help also with Chase Oaksgarden, home run for him, and then the back-to-back home runs that they had in the 5th inning. Colton Hicks right behind Justin Lee, but he was peppering the catcher's mitt with the fastball. Hitters gearing up for that fastball, throws him many times on the breaking ball. And just so dialed in today on a very hot, humid afternoon. 5 2/3, that's getting it done today.
Yeah. Justin Lee told us the other day his role model is George Washington because of the way George Washington commanded the Revolutionary Army back in the day. He wanted to be that kind of leader. We asked his teammates if he was. They said yes with a resounding yes. And it was much more than just Justin Lee today. The balanced offensive effort, the great defensive effort that we saw over these 2 days from Virginia, memories that will last a lifetime for these kids.
Yeah, and you know, just meeting with these kids, we have that opportunity. It's great to see their personality, see all the special little things that they bring to it. And honestly, looking at Virginia and seeing the size, you're saying, hey, this is a smaller team outside a couple of players, and really thought, at least from what Georgia had done coming in, scoring runs, sort of the size of the ball club, that they they would be the favorites, and not too far from home also. But Virginia came to play, and you wondered if they'd have an advantage or not because they didn't have to play today, as Georgia had to play and beat South Carolina to get into this ball game. So there were some pluses and some minuses, but Virginia took full advantage of what they had and came out and got it done.
History was not necessarily on their side, but Virginia creates its own bit of history. 12-2 after just squeaking by Georgia, needing 2 in the bottom of the 6th to walk off on Monday. They hardly needed any extra today. Virginia led after all 12 innings in its 2 games with Georgia. They lead after the only one that matters, and they are all smiles. 13 players, the 3 coaches. The champions of the Southeast region. They will represent this region in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. They will play the champion of New England 8 days from today.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I mean, I just remember as a kid, it wasn't about making it to the big leagues. It's about making it to Williamsport. And so many guys, as we talked about, around the major leagues, they are going to be dialed into these kids and cheering for them and, hoping that they do well. So all the regions, good luck to all those teams that will punch the ticket. We already know there is one punched, but I'll be locked in, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Williamsport in a couple of weeks.
We'll see you as well. We have a lot of fun. We have the Little League Classic, the majors, first ever Little League Home Run Derby, and by the way, a whole lot of good baseball.
And some cardboard sliding down the hill.
Not so sure we're going to continue with that track of thinking. 12-2 is our final. Virginia wins it. Virginia and Louisiana both punched their tickets today to the Little League World Series. Look at them go. Take the victory lap, kids. Noah Culpepper up front with the batter. Matt Coleman to his right. Brady Yates loving every minute of it as Virginia clinches its first Little League World Series appearance since 1994. Again, they'll get the winner of the New England region. That game 8 days from today, 3 o'clock Eastern. All of our Little League World Series coverage can be watched live on ESPN, ESPN2, ABC, and, of course, streaming live on our ESPN app. Well, thanks so much to the entire team here at Warner Robins, Georgia, Jen Colvin and her team here at Little League Southeast Park. Our entire team, producer Ben Cerny, director Dan McMahon, everyone back in the truck, all the men and women who worked long days, sweated out hot temperatures, and brought you some of the most fun we'll see in sports this year. 12-2, Virginia wins it. They're the Southeast Regional Champions. For Chris Singleton, our entire crew, I'm Kevin Brown. Thanks for joining us on ESPN. Stay tuned for PTI.